So Jake, thanks so much for joining me for this duet today.
Thanks so much for having me. The song is awesome. It's really fun.
Thanks. Okay, so when you asked for this tune, I asked you what kind of style of music you'd be into, and you mentioned the Ye Yennings Quartet new album, so I kind of went a West Coast vibe with it.
Totally, yeah. The stuff that Ye is doing, or Jay, excuse me, I call him Ye, is awesome. And I love that vibe, the laid back vibe. The piano listing, I feel like gives you a lot of options in terms of harmonic freedom, but also just one of my favorite albums of all time. It's Jerry Mulligan and Art Farmer, and that's a piano-less quartet. It's called What More Is There to Say? And that's kind of the vibe that I've been in love with ever since I heard that, and Jay's doing the same thing, so I was excited to get a chance to do it on this.
Cool. Well, the Road Warrior, the name of the Road Warrior. I called this the Road Warrior because out of the brass players in town, you're on the road quite a bit. You're like probably one of the most road-working brass players right now.
I stay busy. I've been lucky enough to kind of be on the road more or less about 3 months a year or more since 2015, 16, and with a variety of bands. And I've learned a lot on it, but yeah, it's cool.
And it's important to note that you're on a secondary instrument today. You're primarily a trumpet player.
Right, yeah. Ever since I was a kid, I've loved the trumpet. I've been obsessed with the trumpet, but the thing that I haven't necessarily been obsessed with is high notes. It's just never been a specialty of mine. And as an improvising musician, I always wanted as many sounds and options as possible. And I was actually really inspired by a trumpet player named Ron Miles, who had an instrument designed with him probably 4 or 5 years ago that it's a trumpet, but it's in G, below B flat. And the idea of having like an extended lower register rather than trying to play higher was really attractive to me. So I got the bug when I heard about what bass trumpets were like 2 years ago. I didn't even know that it was a thing. And then I just scoured the internet, and then luckily one of my good friends in town actually had a student who had one sitting around, and so it was kind of fortuitous, and I've had this horn for about 2 years.
Cool. Well, this has certainly made me shed my valves quite a bit. Just trying to keep up with you. You sound great, man.
Thank you very much, man. I'm doing the best that I can.
Yeah. Speaking of secondary instruments and being on the road, so you got a new gig with the Four Freshmen.
Yeah, I'm going to be singing and playing trumpet and possibly bass trumpet with the Four Freshmen, which they're a legendary group that the Beach Boys actually got their sound from. The experience of learning to sing has been really fun, and it's actually influenced my brass playing a lot, like phrasing and breathing. It's I would recommend any brass player to like take some singing lessons. It's awesome.
That's amazing. By my recollection, the first time we played together was with my big band, the Explosion Big Band.
Yeah. One of the first things that I did once I moved back to town from Boston, where I went to college, was I got involved in Jazz Central, where we're at right now, which is a really cool place. And I started working the door on Tuesday nights, which is big band night here. And you asked me to sit in on one of those nights.
Cool. Well, I think, that's one of the things I really like about the big band and in general the scene here is that there's a lot of opportunities to get younger players or people that are new to town to come sit in and meet. It's a good place to network and meet people.
Totally. It's some of the best people are here, and it's a great place to meet and hang out and just hear what the scene is all about.
Do you have any advice for maybe some young upcoming brass players out there?
Yeah. Listen to everything. Be a total sponge. Like, never pigeonhole yourself into thinking that you're one kind of player, because in order to be a successful brass player in today's world, I feel like you really have to be able to say yes to everything. And even if you're not totally comfortable when someone offers you a gig, you figure out how to do it. That's what I did with the singing thing. I just said yes, and I was like, yeah, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And I think that'll open up a lot of doors for young players. Just listen and play everything you can.
That's great advice. So you've spent a lot of time on the road. Do you have any advice for maybe some musicians that are trying to get more into that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, more of it's about, I guess, road etiquette than anything. To be on the road a lot, you have to be someone that people want to be on the road with. You're spending a lot of time in a very closed space with a lot of people. You have to be kind and understanding, and you have to know when to give people personal space. And like when it comes time to load in and load out, be as helpful as you can, and just kind of be generally like more aware than you would be on a regular, like everyday setting.
Jake, do you want to talk about any of the other groups that you're playing with right now?
Sure. So the main one that I've been touring with the last 5 years is Harmar Superstar, who is an amazing, super fun pop R&B singer from here. He's really the one that gave me the chance at first to be on the road a lot, and I learned a ton through him and that group. The groups that I'm working with a lot in town right now are Sister Species, which is kind of a folk chamber pop outfit with 3 trumpets. But it's not like a horn section. It's more like we function as a choir. And Sten Johnson's in that. You did a video with Sten. Yeah. He plays trumpet in that, another doubler. And then I play with McNasty Brass Band, which is the total opposite: high, loud, fast, bombastic, original brass music. That's a lot of fun in a very different way. And then lately, I've been really lucky to play with the Hornheads, which is a horn section out of here, led by Mike B. Nelson, who you did a video with. Absolute legends, and it's every time I get around them, I feel like I learn so much in a short amount of time.
You know, when we did that video, we did it at his home studio, and it was really cool just to see his setup and how he went about the process.
He's got all the coolest gear, and he has all the coolest recordings, and he is just overall a cool guy.
Yeah. So, Jake, let's go record this duet.
Let's do it, man.
All right.